Put your hands up.
Hey OGs, and welcome back to Openly Guarded. I am your host Dimples, and thank you so much for spending another evening with me, having another amazing conversation. And make sure that it's a back and forth conversation. Don't be shy. Comment and let me know exactly how you feel about this episode or any of the other episodes that you may watch while you're watching it or when you're done. Let me know what you think, how you feel, what's your opinion, what does it inspire? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Give me the what ifs and the what nots of that situation. Today, we are going to be talking about something that people call cliche when you talk about your emotions and things of that nature. But me, you guys know, I'm an open book and I'm always going to talk to you about how I feel and what I got going on. And you already know, if we got a guest, we're gonna figure out what they got going on and get in their business a little bit. But today, you got me and I got you. So we're gonna talk a little bit about what I've been experiencing lately or as of late and what exactly I plan on doing with what I'm feeling. So today's episode is called Heart Hijack Highway. And if you've never heard of that term, don't panic. This episode is going to break that down because I literally invented it when I was thinking about what I was going through. So without any further ado, let me give you a little gist. Hold on, sorry. So without further ado, let me break that down for you. Have you ever felt like your emotions entered a relationship before your mouth really got a chance to agree to it? Have you ever had that feeling you were in a relationship that you never really agreed to? Because that's kind of what this is. And that's kind of what I've been feeling like. And I've never really felt like that before. So for me, it was a little strange. And I wanted to figure out, because I'm one of those people, I like to figure out where I'm going to put my emotions. So I was like, I've never felt like this before. It's okay sometimes and other times it's uncomfortable. So let me figure out where I want to place these emotions until I want to deal with them again. That's just kind of the type of person that I am because I deal with, just like all of us, a lot of things throughout the day. And sometimes your emotions can't be the priority. So as I practice emotional self-control, I also want to know when to deal with these emotions, when to evoke, because it's a time and a place for everything. So I want to be better at when to deal with these emotions and when to actually invoke them and when to just leave them where they are. So today we're going to go over a few green flags, a few red flags, and things that I noticed in my personal experience when I got my heart jacked on Heart Hijack Highway. I want to challenge you and ask you, I'm going to challenge you a few times today, but I want to challenge you and ask you a core question. What do you do when you're technically single? You're free, you can do whatever you want, but your freedom can sometimes hurt another person, or sometimes you. I've experienced both ways. I don't know about you if you're still here. The central idea of it is a relationship sometimes never really officially starts, but the chemistry is there, the feelings are real, and care comes quickly. And that's when things can get a little distorted. We don't like being distorted. I'm a Libra. Shout out to the Libras. Balance is everything. So when things come and they're flattering and they're new, they're always nice. Like that honeymoon phase. Like that's the like most simplest way I can put it so y'all can understand. But eventually that goes away. But sometimes it doesn't. And it can get very, very overstimulating. Let's move on. At the same time, when you know you're not in a relationship, real feelings can still exist. There can be jealousy, there can be intimacy, there can be attraction. Real feelings can get hurt. And there can be a need for reassurance from the other person, even though you're not technically in a relationship. But sometimes it's like that from the very beginning. As soon as you learn someone's name, you don't get an opportunity to have a long friendship that's built up and then things change. Sometimes that never actually happens. So if you're watching this episode and you're just like, well, when I went through that, and when I went through that, I handled it like this because I was like so aware of and that can be very, very true. I'm not knocking that at all. What I'm saying is I've never experienced it, and things that are new, I'm human. I have to go through the emotions to figure out exactly what's going on. It can be challenging. It can be difficult to identify what exactly a green flag is from a green flag from a red flag. Sometimes you just don't want to admit it's a red flag, but let's just clarify exactly right now what a green flag is and what a red flag is when it comes to a relationship or even just somebody you like. Anything that is not helping your cause is normally a red flag, meaning like helping you be better. If you're an AA, you know you can be honest with them, and they're encouraging you to keep going, and they're checking on you and your sobriety, like as long as you know the length that you allow them to. So it's like, is it helping your cause or is it taking you away from your cause? And it'll be easier for you to identify green or red flags. Me, myself personally, I like to calculate it on like what I'm working on now and who I want to see myself become in maybe a year or a year and a half. Sometimes when people say, who do you think you're going to be in 5 years? Or what are you going to be doing in 5 years? You may not know. 5 years is a fucking long time. A lot of things happen in a day, okay? In an hour, all right? But if you're in that situation, I say to you, I call it Heart Hijack Highway. So I want to welcome you to Heart Hijack Highway. And if this is your first time getting jacked, don't worry about it, because I'm here. I'm going to take you through the motions and we're going to get through it together. And I'm still in one piece. So if you're in it right now, that means that you'll also be in one piece. And I'm going to give you tips and I'm going to give you different points of views that you can use so you can always kind of navigate your own compass as to where you are in your life and your emotions as well. Moving on. Eventually, you might find yourself getting to a point like, how the hell did I get here? How did I get here? How did I end up here? I know I ask myself because I'm like, how the HE double hockey sticks am I finding myself in this grown age? And I'm going through this. I should have went through this in like motherfucking middle school. Like, this ain't even fair. Like, this ain't even right. And I was just like, should I write about this? Should I create an episode around this? And the fact that it's still, it's like a real fucking thing. Like, I've done the research. I had to, because I know I'm not alone, because it's a real thing. When I was doing my research, what I realized was you don't have to necessarily be in a relationship for someone to have access to your feelings, your emotions, how you care for them, if it's reciprocated, how you care for that. So you can control yourself, but you can't control what it is that you feel. And you're not always wrong for what you feel. Let's keep going. I bring you back to sometimes it happens as soon as you learn each other's names. Other times you could have known each other for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and it's like out of nowhere things just change. And what if that's not your situation? Because that wasn't my situation. So let's keep going. Chemistry can be a very real thing. Let's just, hypothetically, let's just say that you are on the highway and you did get jacked and you're here with me. Your attraction is real, it's valid. Your care is real, it's valid. You genuinely, really care for this person. You're in like with this person. Because I like saying that. I felt like it's a safe, I heard it once a couple years ago, and I like that. Because you might not be in love with a person, but you could be in very, very deep like. Okay, so write that down, take that to the books. Okay, because those things are very, very real and very true, you could eventually find your emotions just getting comfortable before you give them permission to. And that's also not your fault. And I know somebody is watching this episode like, this is how crazy people talk. She's crazy, like that's what crazy people. Read a book. Call me crazy until you read a book. This is psychology, okay? Let's keep going. You eventually find yourself in a place of, that ain't my man. I don't care. I'm not worried about what he's doing. He can do whatever he wants. I'll give you a hypothetical. Y'all at a party. You with your girls. He there. He with his friends. Y'all drinking. Y'all look good. Y'all having a good time. They drinking. They look good. They having a good time. And your friends is like, oh, girl, ain't that such and such? And you like, yeah, that's such and such. And they be like, oh, okay, you over there looking good. You be like, yeah, I see him. So you peep him, you know, he probably over there doing the same thing. He peep you. But out of nowhere, some gorgeous girl comes waltzing across the bar and just happens to set her eye on your prize. And she's like, yeah, what's going on? And she putting it on, she putting the moves. And you can tell he really feeling her. And then your friends is just like, girl, what you gonna do? If you feel the need to do anything, my darling, you're definitely on the highway, okay? You got jacked. Welcome to Heart Hijack Highway. You're here with me. We're here together, okay? We're trying to locate the GPS so we can get our things back. That's what we're doing. That's what's happening right now. And it's a normal thing, but it's just not okay to get carried away with those emotions. And I'm gonna teach you what to do. So just stick around and let's keep going. You're single, they're single, but somehow nobody gave permission to give you the assignment to be their girlfriend. Nobody gave you permission to have the assignment to be their boyfriend, but you feel all of these things, even though you do not have the title. Your feelings just stole the car, jumped on the highway, missed like 6 exits. Now you're in the car with me. We're riding together and we look crazy because we're on Heart Hijack Highway. It's normal. It's not a boy thing. It's not a girl thing. Anybody can feel this way. The most important value that I want you to carry is that you are in control of what it is you do about what you feel. So you can feel it, just don't do it. That's funny. I just said what I said. We're just friends. We're just friends. You're my homie. That's my buddy. That's my pal. You're my bud. We're cool. Gang, gang. Gang, gang. But if that's true, then why? You know what? Before I get into that, let me tell you something else. Friendship is a safety blanket that people give themselves because they're terrified. They're scared shitless. Just being real. That's my friend. Friends are going to think 50 times before they actually hurt you, and you hope that that person will. A lot of times they don't, and it sucks. But it's true. I didn't like it. They didn't like it. Nobody likes it. But it happens. Friendship is often a term people use while ignoring the entire experience. Okay? If you know that when your friend goes outside with his friends and you're like checking on them or worried about them or doing a little bit more than you should be doing because y'all ain't together, you got to check that. You got to check what you do. What you feel is fine, but you always have to check what you do, because maybe y'all are friends. Maybe you really are friends, but maybe being friends isn't the entire story of what's happening. So I'm gonna be fair. Maybe y'all not ignoring nothing. Maybe it's like, that was my friend. That's always my friend. Anybody I date, we were always friends first. Trust me. I told myself that 1,000 times. I get it. If you were just friends, you wouldn't get so bent out of shape when they don't offer you the reassurance that you were expecting, even though you're not in a relationship. If you were just friends, you wouldn't care so much about what they thought about you. If you were just friends, if they looked into your eyes, wouldn't really matter to you very much. It wouldn't matter to them very much. Rejection from them feels different, very different. It's cold and it's hurtful, very isolated and alone. Trust me, I know. It wouldn't feel so bad if y'all was just friends. If your friend, your homegirl, this is for my ladies, and then I'll do it for the dudes. You know what, you can, if you're a dude, you could put yourself in a position because it's really not that type of situation, okay? So vice your own versa, all right? If your homegirl didn't invite you to her birthday party, unless it was out the country or something like that, problem. But if your homegirl didn't invite you to her birthday party, you wouldn't sit, you shouldn't, because I do know some girls that do. You wouldn't sit up all night crying about it, checking her story, you know what I'm saying? Trying to see the last post, or even if she active on IG, y'all know that little green button that be popping up. You wouldn't be doing that at like 2 a.m. You wouldn't be doing that. So stop lying to yourself. Me too. I'm going to stop lying too. The emotions are real. But with the expectations, that's when it's like trippy. Let's read on. Let's move into some psychology facts. I told y'all earlier I did research on this. So let's prove it. Relationship ambiguity. I've experienced relationship ambiguity. Have you ever heard of the term before? Have you ever heard of it? Let me tell you what it is. Should I tell you like this? Sometimes people develop physical or emotional connections without fully defining what those relationships' responsibilities entail. Does that make sense? Let me say it regular. Relationship ambiguity is when a person or two people connect or they get together and they don't necessarily define what that getting together is. So you find yourself in a place where you're like, what are we? And that's normal too. Let's read on. The feelings are real, but the agreement is still very, very, very unclear. And that is a red flag. It's not safe to enter in situations like that, connections like that, because then you're just kind of asking to hurt your own feelings. And we must be careful with our feelings, because when they are hurt, we must take some partial responsibility in that, because that's how you grow. That's where the trouble really starts, because you can start having relationship expectations that were never agreed upon, that were never communicated, and that's another way you can get your feelings hurt. So you gotta be careful. Be strong. Being strong, it's a job for real. It's not easy. Please check on your strong friend, the one that checks on everybody, because they need it. Everybody assumes that the strong person is so strong. Who's checking on a strong person? Call your strong friend. Pause this episode and call your strong friend. Thank you. Tell her Dimple sent you. I've also experienced relationship attachment activation. Attachment activation is, damn, I don't want to get too deep, but sometimes I would say things like, well, I don't know my dad, or I'm not close to my mom's other older side of the family. So, you know, when situations happen like funerals, it won't hit me, you know what I'm saying? Because those relationships, like, all right, Tupac said, they say I'm cold and I'm heartless, but my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger. So I always felt like I would have those same emotions, not because of Pac, just because like his lyrics were so real and they touched me in a lot of different ways. Rest in peace, shout out to him. But I could feel that bar hard because I've been through so many situations where I felt nothing, that I feel like I'm numb in a lot of places. So attachment activation is when somebody can like awaken emotions that you never knew was there before. Like you might be cold as ice, tough as nails, but let a baby come in the room. Oh my God, it's just, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, but it's instant, it's instantaneous, and that's how it works. It's like adrenaline, it's quick, it's fast, and it's real. When it hits you, you know. So yeah, attachment activation. Some things that can activate attachment activation: distance, rejection, lack of reassurance, lack of intimacy. It's a lot of different things. Lack of communication, whatever that person's love language is, if you know what it is and you're not doing it, it can inspire them things. And they probably don't mean to hurt you. They probably don't mean to crash out. They call it crash out. They probably don't mean to crash out on you. So give them grace, for real. You probably just awakening some stuff that they didn't even know that they had brewing in them. Like, not saying like, oh, trauma, but just like, I never knew I could love somebody this hard. Like, it could be a good thing, but it still could be new. And new things are hard to control at first. People need practice. Repetition equals growth. It gives you results, you know. If you have an opportunity to do something and continue to do it, especially if you enjoy it, you should do it, because as you continue to fail beautifully, marvelously, tremendously, and I know y'all ain't getting no rollout this week, and I know y'all ain't getting no shirts this week yet, and I wasn't gonna bring it up because that's the professional thing to do, but I'm just not always a professional bitch. And that's the bottom line. Suddenly you find yourself asking a question within a question. Am I still important to you? Are we okay? Do you still think I'm special? The things that they gave you without you even communicating, it could go away someday or sometime. And then when it does, you find yourself alone asking those questions, because the presence of them used to just give you the answers like that. You know, it happens. It's life. This is Heart Hijack Highway. And if you are still here, I just want to say thank you so much. And if you just here because you like to hear my crazy antics and the sound of my voice, thank you so much. And if you're here because you can relate to what I'm talking about, I love you, and it's okay. And I know you might not know me because you might be watching from wherever you're watching from, and you might not be in Atlanta, and you might not never been in Philly. But I'm telling you, it takes one to know one. And you got real love here. So you can come back whenever you want to and rewind this episode and just fast forward it to that part. Whatever, check the time, pause it and check the time right now. And fast forward to that part and you can hear somebody tell you, I'm proud of you, I love you, it's gonna be okay, keep going. And don't stop loving hard. Somebody need to be smacked with that, like a brick or a yellow school bus. So you keep on coming, because one day somebody gonna receive you the way that you come, and they're gonna be so grateful that you didn't let the harsh realities of the world or the coldness of different people break your stride, hold you down. Oh no, can't let nobody. All right, you get the point. Broken glass everywhere, but it ain't about the money pop. All right, so anyway, let's keep going. When you're asking those questions, am I special? Do I matter? Are we okay? Sometimes you really don't even realize you asking them, because they don't come out like that. They come out like, who the you think you playing with? I ain't even no regular. They come out like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to work on that. How would you feel if somebody said they love you and they came at you like that? You wouldn't feel very much loved, right? If you were expressing yourself that way, this is the reality check episode for you, because what you're feeling ain't wrong, but what you're doing might be. Let's keep going. I tried to wink at y'all. I don't know if it worked. Let me know in the comment section. Let's keep going. Cognitive dissonance. We're still in psychology. Kick it with me. This is the third term. Don't worry about it. And I'm going to ask y'all what the other terms was at the end of the episode. And whoever remembers all three terms, I got something for you. So I'm going to give it to y'all the way it popped up in my mind. Acting. Scene one. Hey, girl. You know, I saw... Yeah, girl, I ain't worried about her. She is not even his type. He is not going to be studying that girl. For sure. What? He took his phone out. What you talking about? He took his phone out. What did it look like? The gram or his phone? Well, take out your phone and make it seem like we about to make a video. Flip the camera and zoom in. Yeah. Oh, it's the phone. It's the number. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'll be right back. That's a problem. That's a problem every time. That's what cognitive dissonance actually is. It's that you're gonna tell me one thing, but your whole entire body, your nervous system is pulling a whole nother stunt right now, baby. Oh yeah, that's what cognitive dissonance is. Now, I've given y'all three terms today, and y'all still gonna get a word of the day. I ain't even give y'all a rollout, okay? So I don't even wanna hear no crying. So we got some extra work. I'm loaded up, so y'all loaded up, so we loaded up, all right? And I really hope that you enjoy this episode, because I really put my heart into it. The little piece I had left that ain't jack, because I'm still waiting on getting the rest back. They said they would bring it back, so hopefully they do. But let's keep going. Both can exist at the same time. You can still intelligently understand that you are single, the person is single, and still feel jealous. You can still feel betrayed. You can still feel hurt, fear, or saddened by the actions of the person, even though the person did nothing wrong to you. And I know it sounds very backwards, so I'm going to slow it down. Your emotions are valid in a situation. If your feelings get hurt, if you feel rejected, if you feel insecure, sadness, or fear, all of those emotions are valid, even though you can understand that you're single, that person is single, and they didn't do anything wrong to you. As long as you understand that you feeling hurt doesn't automatically mean that they did something wrong. As long as you understand that, you'll be good with how you feel, because that's a very important distinction. However, on the other hand, reassurance does not mean I get to control you. Reassurance does not mean you get to control me. That's another big lesson of today's episode. There's a difference between, you can't do that, and I'm not asking you not to do that. I'm just asking you to remember that I have feelings too. One attempts to control a person's behavior, while the other simply shows vulnerability. Sometimes people can hear our vulnerabilities as their limitations, and that's when two people can totally miss each other. Sometimes we don't want people to change their behavior. We just want to know that they're thinking about us while they're doing what they're doing, because it's a difference. Another conversation that tends to get brought up in these awkward, complicated connections. Privacy and shame are not the same thing. Let's run it down. If you don't want to discuss every detail about a situation with a person, they may take that as you possibly being ashamed of that situation. Privacy and shame are not one and the same. Maybe the person just doesn't want to repeatedly explain something that they normally wouldn't have to if they were single. Sometimes a question can seem innocent coming from one person's side, but can be extremely emotionally expensive for the other person. And that's when you have to take a moment out and ask yourself, are we sharing so we can strengthen this connection that we're building? Or are you asking me questions hoping that I can fulfill some reassurance that the question may not ever completely provide? Because that's also different. Another conversation that tends to come up in these complicated connections, emotional access and physical intimacy. This is where Heart Hijack Highway gets a little deeper. You can be fully attracted to someone but still pull away because attraction isn't the final ingredient. It isn't the only ingredient. It isn't the missing ingredient. There's a difference between physically participating in a connection with someone and emotionally opening yourself to a person. Real intimacy can come from presence, eye contact, safety, feeling chosen, affection, and feeling like you're in a relationship with another person. Sometimes pulling away from a person isn't saying, hey, I don't want you. It's saying, I don't want to feel alone while I'm with you. Having relationship-sized feelings in a non-relationship can be emotionally and physically and mentally taxing for you and the other person, because you're not entitled to exclusivity. You're not entitled to an agreement that was never agreed upon. It just doesn't make any sense to want that or to expect that, or for them to expect that from you. But it doesn't mean that you're forbidden from feeling the feelings that you're feeling. You can feel jealousy, you can feel sad, you can feel fear, you can feel you're not receiving reciprocity. You can also decide that I feel all of these things and they feel very real, but right now in my life, this isn't for me. And there's nothing wrong with that either. All those things can be valid. Emotional middle ground exists. Emotional middle ground exists. But eventually you also have to ask yourself, and I know this is a lot of questions, but it should be this detail with yourself when you're trying to figure yourself out. Don't rush it. Take your time. Take your time. Can this arrangement actually hold our size feelings? Because sometimes neither person is the problem. The container is simply too small to hold what's inside. And when it's been this way from the moment you've known each other's names, when you haven't had that longevity time to build a real concrete, solid foundation, what you have to do is deal with the emotions and the relationship that's truly there, not the safety boo-boo kitty name with the band-aid that you named it so you could protect your emotions. You're gonna have to go through this in order to get through the other side, and that's how you protect your emotions. When you go through it, you're able to gain knowledge about what you've been through, so you're able to recognize it when it comes around again, or else you'll continue to go through the same cycle and the same cycle and the same cycle. And I know for me, it was challenging because in the beginning, like I said, it's that romance phase. It's that honeymoon phase. It's very giving a thrill for the chase. Very much so. So it's hard to want to get out of that because it can feel so good. And when you're entwined in it and they're entwined in it with you, you can get so carried away with those emotions that you can forget what your purpose is. And that's when Heart Hijack Highway can become a problem for you. So I wanted to make this episode not just for me, but for us, so that we can do a little GPS check on where we are in situations like that with our emotions, how we feel, how we're handling ourselves, how we're talking to ourselves. Are we spending time with ourselves? Are we enjoying the time that we spend with ourselves? It's very, very, very important to fall in love with you so you can know how beautiful that feels. Because someday somebody might ask you, do you know what it's like to be with you? And they might ask you in a bad way or they might ask you in a good way. But the thing is, depending on who they are to you, what they mean to you, and how they ask you, it could really either anchor how you feel or it could really reinforce how you feel. And when that happens, maybe there isn't truly a platonic relationship to go back to. And maybe that's something that's fearful for us. Maybe that's something that's actually scary for us, because it's like, if I don't have this, we might not have anything. But that's not really your call. I know it feels like it is, because it's like, well, if I want him to be my man, he'll be my man. And if he wants me to be his girl, I'll be his girl. And that's true. And you can make that choice and you can make that call. But if it hasn't happened naturally already, chances are it's forced. And when it's forced, it doesn't last. Trust me, I'm not a whore or anything, I just know. But I also want to let you know that chemistry does not mean destiny. Just because something was instantaneous and it was a whirlwind and it knocked you off your feet, you knocked me off of my feet. Just because that happened to you doesn't mean that this person needs to be your forever person. That doesn't make it true. Chemistry tells you something is happening. Character tells you if that something is healthy or not. Work with me for a minute. Let's say we took away the attraction. Just for a minute. Sex, the titles, the attraction, the chemistry. Ask yourself this question. Can I really truly be there for this person without judging them? Can I not be defensive when they need to be vulnerable with me? Can I give them reassurance without using it as control? Or can we heal after we've hurt each other? Those questions are how you find out what your connection is actually truly made of, if you want to know what your connection is truly made of. This is my audience reflection question. So I want to ask you this question. If you're still with me, I appreciate you and I applaud you. And I want to ask you this question. Is there somebody you're calling a friend, but giving relationship size access to you? Is there somebody you're calling a friend while still expecting relationship emotions out of them or expecting more from them? Maybe the hardest relationships aren't the ones that end. Maybe they're the ones that never truly begin. Yeah, the person isn't yours. The feelings are real, the emotions are real, the attraction is real, the chemistry is real. Eventually, you have to stop hustling with yourself about if you're able to feel the feelings that you're feeling, and ask yourself, what exactly are these feelings trying to tell me? You don't have to turn every powerful connection into a relationship. You don't have to control someone just because you care for them. And you don't have to pretend you're not affected by things happening around you because there's no title. But you do have to be honest with yourself. You owe it to yourself to be honest with yourself, because while you're running around saying, we're just friends, we're just friends, we're just friends, your heart then stole the keys, jumped on the highway that missed 6 exits, is completely ignoring the GPS, and got both y'all riding down Heart Hijack Highway, looking like some plumb fools. And at some point, one of y'all gotta say, where the hell are we going? Feelings don't create ownership, but they do create information. Pay attention to what yours are trying to tell you. And I know that was a mouthful. I know I gave y'all a whole mouthful. But now it is time for me to give you the word of the week. And the word of the week is limerence. Limerence is a state of emotional fixation, longing for a person, if you will. Often fueled by the unknowing, the uncertainty of reciprocation from the other person. Yeah. And now, it is time for me to give you the movie of the week. And the movie of the week is going to be Love and Basketball. Yes, it goes along with what we got going on. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly why I chose it, because it goes with the theme of Heart Hijack Highway, baby. And if anybody knows anything about that road, that highway, they do. Watch this movie if you haven't seen this movie before, because it's a perfect example of history mixed with ambition and attraction and chemistry and jealousy and all this good stuff that turns into a nice little passionate scene a couple of times. So watch that movie, Love and Basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And now it is time for me to give you the book of the week. And shout out to the ones that have been reading these books and watching these movies and building their vocabulary right alongside with me, because I wanted to do those things because I want to learn with you. I want us to learn together. So, without further ado, I'm going to give you Attached. Attached is, okay, how embarrassing. I was so excited to give you the book and the definition, I didn't give you a chance to give you who it was by. So without further ado, bing, like Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yeah, Attachment explores the different adult dating styles, attachment styles when it comes to dating. And that can be secure, anxious, avoidant, fearful. It demonstrates how relationship styles and forms are all different. You can't just put people in a box and say, you go over there and you go over there. It's a little bit more abstract than that. It's a little bit more colorful than that. Thank you so much for kicking it here with me. I truly appreciate y'all. Shout out to my OGs. What up, OGs? I love y'all so much. And if you're new, please don't go away. I promise we're getting better every step of the way. My goal is to provide for you consistency and dedication, admiration, and ambition. And I hope I've been able to do that so far. Please let me know how you feel about this episode in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and only share this if you dare with somebody who will actually get it, someone who actually will appreciate the material, because here we're looking for consistent support, y'all. And consistency is key. Okay, and y'all gonna get a lot of bloopers because look, I'm sorry, all right? Love you, thank you so much for the wait. You're always worth it. Until next time, peace. Ah! You did it. You did it, you did it, you did it. Hey, now we see my, we did it. Boom, 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 boom. We went down the stairs and on the elevator, yeah, we did it. Boom, boom, boom. We got our cards together and now we're lit. Yeah, we did it, we did it, we did it. All right. Now we have to do a little photo shoot, a little boom, ba-boom, cha-ching, cha-boom, boom. We gotta do a little, all right. Long story short, I really, truly appreciate it.
Put your hands up.